Good morning. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadine Spirit of Motivated Son. I am the diaspora machismo. My people, it was another beautiful day for a protest and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's faith. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you re-enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? All in all, it was another beautiful day for protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. There is nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have protested and when I have brought you an update as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring to you something from the word of the Most High God. My people, we are on a very wild ride. We are in the book of Revelation. We are now in Revelation chapter 13. Revelation chapter 1, chapter 13, verse 1 has so much things to unpack that we spend an entire lesson discussing Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, and we still will come back today and continue in Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. For there is a lot of things we need to unpack. And we are going to deal with the last part of Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. So let us read Revelation chapter 13, verse 1 again. But we will emphasize that part which we are going to deal with. This is John speaking. And I stood upon the seashore, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 10 crowns upon the horns. And upon his head the name Blasphemy. Now, there are two things we need to look into here, because this is very significant to understanding the events that are going to come next. Later down in Revelation chapter 13 and in further on in the book of Revelation. So here we see upon his head the name Blasphemy. So what is blasphemy? Blasphemy is the total disrespect for God, the Most High God, Yahweh, and the things of God. So when you show disrespect to the Most High God and the things of the Most High God, that is blasphemy. The fact that the word blasphemy was written on the head of the beast is significant. Why? Because the head is a center of intelligence. The head is the edifice on the body that houses the brain, and the brain is a center of intelligence. Our decision making comes from the brain. Our character finds its seat in the brain. Habits are developed and broken first in the brain, and the center of our mind is in the brain. The mind is that invisible quality that we possess, that holds our ability to rationale, to make decisions, to practice good and bad things. So the mere fact the name blasphemy was written upon the head shows that the beast's blasphemous actions are not by chance. They are premeditated, they are calculated, and they are a part of his character. Now, what is a name? A name is a word that helps us to identify a particular person, a place, or a thing. But a name goes deeper than that when it comes to an individual. A name goes further than identifying a physical object, as in a person, a place, or a thing. In a person, a name is a representative of a person's character or his reputation. For example, when I hear the name Hamilton Palmer, which is the name of my father, I get chills. I not chills of fear or agony, but I get chills of joy because I love my father so much that just his name send chills down my spine and a sense of excitement and comfort because I know how far my father went to protect us, to provide for us, and to ensure that we had everything that we needed. I remember clearly once when I was a child, my father had a conversation with me. He said to me, I don't have anything of value to leave for you, like things of the world. But what I am going to leave you is my good name. And I am hoping that you will take care of my good name. I didn't understand what my father meant when he told me that until when I was about 18 or so. Dropped out of school, didn't know what I was going to do. And I applied to the company, W.J. Abbott and Son, for a salesperson job. And the job was paying pretty good money. I had an interview with the manager of the company, the general manager, because W.J. Abbott was the biggest departmental store in our country. It has car dealership, supermarket, furniture, appliances stores, everything they had going on with them. So when I enter the interview room with the manager, the general manager of the entire company, he opened a file where my resume was. And he said, Palmer. He said, where you from? I said, I'm from Bottomtown. He said, what are you to Mr. Palmer that runs the shop? I said, that is my father. The general manager of W.J. Abbott and Son closed the file. And I thought, oh my God, probably daddy did something that is going to hamper my ability to get this job. And he said to me, I don't have to interview you. If you want this job is yours. I know your father, and if Hamilton Palmer is your father, I can assure that giving you this job, I would not be making a mistake. It is then I understood what my father said to me when he said, he's given me his good name, and please take care of it. So the name of blasphemy on this beast represented a character trait that will never change. And if you remember well, the beast represented the Caucasians nation. Let me show you how much the Caucasians nation disrespected the Most High God and the things of the Most High God. Remember, the Israelites in today's world, the direct descendants of children of the transatlantic slave trade. The Most High God said in Amos and in many other parts of the scriptures that we are the apple of his eyes. Anyone who touches the apple of his eyes offends the Most High God. In BC 331, the Caucasians that call themselves the Greeks invaded Israel and take control of the city of Israel, the Most High city. And they enslaved the people, the Israelites. This is a total blasphemous act to go into the Most High city and to touch his people. In AD 69, the Caucasians that call themselves the Romans did the same thing, but the only thing, they were worse than the Christians. This is what they did when they get there. Not only did they re-enslave the Israelites, the Most High God's people, the apple of his eyes, they introduced mass rape and homosexuality in Israel. Most of you are going to say, Alan, Chief, there is nowhere in the scriptures that says that the Roman introduced rape and homosexuality in the Israelite community. There's no writing in the apocryphal books, and there's no writing in the Bible that says that. Where did you get that from? Let me explain to you. If you go all through the Old Testament, there is not one instant of demon possession you can find there except for when Saul, the king of Israel, the first king of Israel, disobeyed the Most High God, and the Most High God withdrew his spirit from him, and an evil spirit from the Most High God possessed him. That is, it was the first and the only instant of demon possession that is found in the Old Testament. However, when the Son of the Most High God, the Son of Man, was born, everywhere in Israel there were demon possession. Everywhere you turned, there were demon possession. Matthew 8, 20 to 34. Two men came out of the cemetery. They were so demon possessed that their strength was enormous. They could not be contained, not even with iron shackles. And when they saw the Son of the Most High God afar off, Yahusha, this is what they said to him: "Oh Yahusha, Son of God, did you come to torment us before our time?" In Matthew 17, verse 14 to 23, there's a story of a man that came to the Son of God and says, "Yahusha, my son has a demon that possesses him. He will cause him to fall into the fire and into the water, and I am afraid for his life. So please come and help him." In Luke 9, the Most High God sent out his disciples two by two. And in Luke 10, when we turn to him, this is what it says: "Master, we have power over the devils, they are subjected to us." That means in their going, they encountered many instances of demon possession. Demon possession can only take hold of a person if he involved in homosexuality, bestiality, or abortion. Those are how you become demon possessed. To the point where the demons overpower you. Remember, it is the same thing that is happening here in California, where the Caucasians have been arresting the Israelite men and women here for very little insignificant offenses. Take them to court and have the court throw them in prison for a long period of time with the hopes that they will get involved in homosexuality while they are in prison. And when they come out of prison, they're all slaves, demon possessed. In California, the Israelite community, the black community, represent 13% of the population, but they are responsible for between 80 or 90% of all of the vagrancies, all of the homelessness. Why? Because they fall victim to the Caucasians' expectation and actions against them, and they got involved in homosexuality, bestiality, and abortion. In 80-70, after the Caucasians quieted the rebellion of the Israelites, in 80-70, you know what they did? They went, they loot the temple of the Most High God. That is blasphemous. They went, they stole all of the furnishing and the scriptures of the Most High God, and they shipped them back to Rome. Blasphemous. And after that, they burned down the temple that the Most High God instructed his servant Solomon to build. Not only that, they round up all of the Israelites they can find, and they shipped them back to Rome. It is our foreparents that built the Roman Colosseum, but they never gave us the credit for it, because we were the slaves in Rome at that time, and they used our foreparents to build the Roman Colosseum. Another thing they didn't want you to know is the gladiators that fought in the Roman Colosseum were our foreparents. They put Israelite men against Israelite men to fight to the death, to their enjoyment, because the scripture spoke of the valiance of our men. The scripture spoke of the exploit in war of our men. They wanted to see us fight to see if the scripture were true. They did not put us to fight against the Caucasians, but they put us to fight against ourselves. And then, when that was not enough entertainment for them, they will put an Israelite man to fight against a lion in the Colosseum, and they will cheer to our detriment. The Israelite men in the Roman Colosseum, the black men and women, the children of slaves, they become so great at fighting that even one or two lions could not defeat them in a battle. And when that wasn't enough, they will overpower them, tie them to a stake, and burn them at a stake. And all of the Caucasians in the audience will stand to their feet and cheer at the agony of the burning Israelite man who will die right in their presence. They wanted to believe that the gladiators were Caucasians men. What reason would the Romans have to put their own citizen in an arena to fight to the death against each other? How is that going to benefit Rome? When these men would have family in Rome, who cares about them? What benefit would it be to the Romans to unleash lions and tigers on their own citizen that are valiant fighter and watch them die? It is of no value for them to do that. But it was of a value for them to do that to the people who they hated, people who they have enslaved and thought nothing of, people who are their properties. And then in the 16th century, the British, the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, those Caucasian nations went to Africa. They did not go to Africa to capture African slaves. They went to Africa to capture the Israelites that run away from Israel to Africa. Let me explain this to you. You see, when the Assyrian invaded Israel, a lot of the Israelites ran away because they did not want to be the slave of the Assyrian. So they ran away for Africa. And they started colonies of Israelites in Africa. When the Babylonian invaded Israel, they did the same thing. When the Grecian invaded Israel, a lot of the Israelites ran away to Africa and they start colonies of Israel in Africa. And in AD 70, when Rome invaded Israel and take over Israel from the Grecians, a lot of the Israelites saw the opportunity with the chaos to run away, avoid the Caucasian slavery again. So for many centuries, these Israelites were living in Africa. Their numbers have grown into a very large community. So in the 15th century, when the British, the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, etc., started a slave trade, they didn't go in for Africans because the African did not get a good price on the market. We cannot even distinguish ourselves from the Africans. We think we are Africans. We are not Africans. We are the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the Israelites. But when the Caucasians see us, they can know the difference between an African and an Israelite. So John Hawkins and other conquistadors avoid capturing Africans because Africans did not bring the same price as the Israelite brought on the action block. The Caucasians in England, in other parts of Europe, in America, and in the Caribbean, they did not want African slaves. They wanted Israelite slaves. Guess why? Because they are our antagonists. Like the way light fight against darkness and heat fights against cold. The Israelites and the Edomites, the children of slaves and the Caucasians fight against each other, and that fight will never end. That is why in the 1980s, the President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, saw it fit to put crack cocaine in the black community in California and in all of the other states in America. The only thing is, they confess in a congressional hearing as to it as they have put it, the crack cocaine in California, but they did it in every state in the United States of America. They put it in the black community because they wanted to destroy the black community according to the federal law. That was an act of genocide. An act of genocide. It meets all of the points to prove genocide. That means the United States of America government in the recent history in the 1980s took part in an act of genocide against the African American community in this United States of America. And guess what? That genocide trickled right into the Caribbean because that crack cocaine made its way to the Caribbean. You talk about a blasphemous act. There's anything that is more wicked and disrespectful to the Most High God like that than to take his innocent people, his fun-loving and jolly people, the people who are willing to help you if you ask them, and you destroy them like that? Blasphemy to the highest degree. Remember, like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video, let me know what are your thoughts about this, what we said here. And remember, there are many more videos like this right here. Go peruse this video and let me know what are your thoughts. Remember, my name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am Les Pro Machismo, and I will talk to you on Friday.